When I do that, I also have to hit this tweeter button. But go ahead.
That's right. So I have to talk to Frank. Frank, how you doing, man?
Good, good. How you guys doing?
Man, we are good as hell.
Did you have that background the last time we talked?
No. I'm actually in my garage because it's the ambiance is much more NASCAR themed, and B, both of my kids are asleep.
Oh, okay.
This way I can if it gets loud or obscene, everything's okay.
There's all this NASCAR paraphernalia behind him. It looks awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I can't wait to when you go live on YouTube, I'll be able to see it.
Should be live now. Yeah, it's live.
All right, cool. I'll plug it in.
Uh-huh.
So
I'm going to go here.
Of course, send a text to Ashley and Charles asking for something for the ditch.
Uh-huh.
And Ashley's immediate actually, I didn't text. I actually tweeted it.
Oh,
and Ashley was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I already know what it is," and like she copied me in something that Cone had sent out, and it was just basically his commentary was, "If any of your personal appendages are involved in this story, you've got a problem." So this dude was arrested in South Carolina for a traffic stop.
Oh, I did see that because you sent this to me. Yeah.
Whale dicks and human dicks in his car.
Yeah,
30
male
human
penises. Well,
penises.
human penises, I should say. Yeah.
What the?
There's a lot of things where I think I could probably go underground and find something. Like, you need a toe? I can get you a toe. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. With nail
polish.
By 3 o'clock.
Right. I can get you a toe. You don't want to know, but I can do it. But if you put in an order for 30 penises,
that's a tall order.
Tall order. Yeah.
That's like
very kids market.
That's like so either you're like the wildest, weirdest serial killer since Jeffrey Dahmer, or you have a relationship with a clinic in an area where dudes be doing the sex change thing, like on the regular.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you read the article too?
I've read about 60% of it. I was like, what?
Well, the cops were like, "What's back there?" And he goes, "You do not want to open that." Like, you know what? Fair enough. Fair. You know what? He gave him.
Say that to a cop though. Usually, you're not going to talk them out of it. I mean, if anything, that's going to be like, well, now I need to open it.
Well, at least there's plausible deniability in the fact that guy's mind is wrecked for the rest of his life.
Well, and this isn't like 1970s India where like tiger penises were a thing.
Oh, geez.
Like what is the like? What is there modern medicine associated with this behavior?
I don't know. Did you see his mugshot?
Yeah.
That's the scariest part.
Yeah.
Looked like a black dude with a lot of makeup on, and his hair was dyed, and I don't know what else.
Yeah. I mean, if you put a lineup of people and said one of these has 30 penises in his trunk, I mean, he's the obvious first-round draft pick for this one.
So here's what I want to... His appearance was very strange. I mean, I would almost classify it somewhere between Dracula and Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. No, that's a perfect...
Bizarre.
Yeah, he was wearing almost like whiteface makeup.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing I want to... So I did a quick Google just to try to understand... the whale part of the equation, which is what triggered
the search history, by the way.
The car search was triggered by whale penises.
Oh my gosh.
Like the smallest whale on Earth is 9 feet long and weighs 600 pounds.
Oh
it's
my.
called a miniature right whale, miniature sperm whale, something like that. So, I mean, you're already talking like if you've got a pile of whale penises, how much material do you have?
There's a lot
in your car.
That all fit one vehicle's trunk?
Like everybody by now has seen Blackfish, so you know what the killer whales looks like, and the blue whales is 10 feet long.
Oh my gosh.
On average.
Oh my gosh.
So where are you getting these? Who are they coming from? Where is there a viable whale penis market?
Oh my.
People are not going to listen to this show.
No, they're not. They're not.
It's okay.
And so,
well, our people will. So we'll stop now.
You know what I'll do? I'm going to show a picture here of the mugshot.
That's probably a good idea
for everybody on the. There we go. Everybody on the.
Oh man,
show
we got
that's
Swerve.
watching.
Or no, that's Robbie.
So there's the mugshot of this person that we're talking about. That's pretty good. And conveniently, I placed it right over Frank. So if you were to take a screenshot right now, it would say at
this
Frank
is
Gallat.
Frank. Yep, this is Frank right here.
It's fantastic.
In trouble with the upstate South Carolina law.
Oh man, you know what? He did a really good job with his eyebrows and with like the little thing on the side. Like this was his mugshot. I think he was planning on being in a photo today. So there we go. Beast, what in the world did I just walk into? Beast, you don't even want to know.
Yeah, we started. So
you have to rewind it. Some dude
parking brake
got
broke,
caught.
and we found the car in the ditch to start with. We had to get out of the ditch before we could start the show.
There was a comedian. Oh no, this was it was when I went and saw what's his butt? Famous magician, probably our most famous. David Copperfield. Saw David Copperfield, and throughout the show, like when he was in between tricks, and he would just come out on stage and say hi and everything, and every once in a while somebody new would walk down, and he goes, "Oh hey, just to catch you up, I made her disappear. I cut myself in half, and then we did blah blah. Like it was just really funny. So Cliff Notes. So, hey Beast, what did you just walk into? That dude that we showed on there was caught in his car. Had 30 male or human penises in the back of his car,
and an unknown amount of whale penises.
Right. So there you go. That's what we've been talking about. You're all caught up now.
Right. So we're caught up.
Oh man!
Start the audio recording portion of this podcast.
Yeah, where we will not be talking about.
Well, we probably will not talk about that subject.
Oh, good times. Frank, are you ready to roll?
I'm good.
You've been on a several. Is this PhD episode? Did I write that right?
All
right. We'll go after that.
This is number 3.
Frank, we'll lose you, or you'll lose us
for like 90 seconds.
Yeah, for maybe 90 seconds or so. Don't hang up.
Don't do a Brandon.
And by the way, we'll be able to hear you still too. So if you start like typing or talking to somebody, everybody will hear that too.
It will end up in the intro.
Yeah. So be it.
Who was it that talked all the way through it? Like
I think it was Rick Mast.
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure
it's
that.
Pretty much just Carrie, guys. Hey, guys.
Of course it was Rick Mast. That's awesome. All right, y'all, let's do this. We are recording. Oh, and I've got a special intro for Sherwin. So here we go. We're recording now. Hey! Welcome, y'all! That's right. This is the Pregame Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast, episode number 175. It's Tuesday, December 18th, 2018. We're 1 week to Christmas. We're playing some Christmas dadgum music. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace. I'm in the PTM Podcast Studio with Pregame Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
I don't think it dawned on me until just now that we are exactly 1 week from Christmas.
7 days. 18.
We were close because
7 carries.
One round down, and then it's 25.
But now you're doing it wrong with new Common Core. You know,
yeah,
messed up already.
Oh, I don't even. I might never have been an engineer if we had Common Core math when I was.
Oh man, well y'all,
we were kids, I should say.
We started in the ditch, and that's how it's going to go. So with that, let's go ahead and tell you that this podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. You go to patreon.com/PTM. Join the What You Drink Club for as little as $1 a month and get that free koozie. Best part is every cent in 2018, we're donating to sponsoring drivers. Join the PTM Posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. Let's see if I can do this before the music runs out, Sherwin. Here we go. This week's show is brought to you by our official sponsors at $5 and up per month level. That's Laura Henshaw, Aaron Bearden, Robert Keplinger, Colby McClaim, Eric Kettner, Ryan Kiefer, Patrick Cleary, Jeff Brown, Brandon Crowd, Kathleen McDonald, Stacey Wright, Brandon Carl, Billy Workman, Rico Porter, Jumpy Bob, Les Miller, Tommy Witt, Mark Wiley, Julie Bosley, John Pearson, Eddie Greer III, Yunker Motorsports, Jason Rudd, David Mullins, Joe Nolf, and Patrick Johnson. Boom!
Boom! That was like you planned it.
Man, I did not rehearse that, so I'm pretty happy about that
That's
one.
not bad at all. You should be a real live radio DJ.
Oh man, I am. Dude.
What do they call that when you talk all the way through like the intro and then the words start? They got a word for that.
Oh, I didn't know there was a word.
Yeah, they got it's some
man.
jargon. It's industry jargon.
Well, let's go ahead and welcome the guest who will be joining us in the ditch tonight. It's back to the show. Hey, dude, this is PTM PhD candidate at this point. We'll see how he does. We'll award or deny at the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Journalist for Front Stretch on Twitter at Frank Villat. It is Frank Villat. Frank, what's up, dude?
No pressure, though, right?
Definitely no pressure.
Defending
You have my
dissertation.
honorary PhD revoked.
Oh, right. No, this isn't honorary. This is like accredited. It's for
Oh,
real.
okay.
This is
yeah,
hard.
I'm earning this one.
Yeah. You're
You have to actually own this content now.
standing up in front of the PTM Posse committee. And
Not only that,
giving
but
the
doing
thesis.
so with Davey Allison, something about Mark Martin, and
See, Dale.
Daryl Waltrip in the background, I see.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It goes more
Also-
vertical on the actual Skype one, too. There's
I was going to say, my
Dale up
producer
top.
has like that. Like we're watching
yeah.
low def
Yeah.
on a high def.
yeah. Oh, all good. 5 days till your wife's birthday, Roger. How do you do it? How do you do the...
Roger Diamond.
Oh, man. That kind of broke the fourth wall, by the way, when you turned that
Oh, yeah.
camera around and then it did that.
It probably showed you.
Yeah. So 5 days to your wife's birthday, and so that means it's the 23rd. And so you got to get 23rd gifts, and you got to get Christmas gifts. You can't look. This is coming from a
like,
married
what if
guy, and Frank knows this too. I'm sure. Like you can't try to like combine or not. Yeah. You can't.
Oh,
No. You'll. She's probably had combined her whole life, and you ain't allowed to do that now. So best of luck to you, Roger.
So you kind of have this with your wife a little bit too, on her birthday.
Yeah, her birthday's in
like a month.
It's in
Not
2
even.
weeks or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got
3 weeks from
Christmas.
now, 2 weeks from Christmas. Yeah.
So
like that.
my birthday is 6 weeks after Christmas, almost dead nuts. And my parents have always done a fantastic job of figuring out a way to somehow combine them.
There is always a mad rush because, you have Christmas and then you have that whole week and you're just kind of winding down from Christmas. Then it's New Year's. You've gone to the parties and everything. And then you go, oh, crap, Serena's birthday's in like 4 days.
That's
Gotta
right.
figure
She's
something
the
out.
4th or the
She's actually the 11th.
11th.
So, yeah.
11th,
Yeah,
sorry.
1/11.
I don't know why I don't ever remember that.
That's all good.
It was this year that I remembered your birthday.
Yeah.
Now it's because it's a lock on your door.
Yeah.
Now I have to know it.
Now Sherwin can get in. Frank, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Just hanging out.
Hanging out, doing the thing.
Just turned in my last piece for the year, so now I'm officially off duty in the NASCAR world for the remainder of 2018.
My man, what was the last piece for 2018?
It was we did a top 10 storylines of the year, and mine was the shuttering of Furniture Row and
Ooh.
how it came about and what needs to be done to keep similar things from happening in the future.
Wow, boy, we've talked that one quite a bit, but I will be looking forward to reading that article. I wish I'd. So it's not published yet. It's just turned in yet, or what's the?
Yeah, it'll post tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and when I tweet it out, I'll tag you and so that you don't
Right on.
miss it.
Right on. Looking for
Yeah, it'll hit the site tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. So
Uh-oh.
I can't not mention this.
Okay.
First of all, Stacy, can't wait for Talladega in the spring. You know we're going to be there. It's going to be fun. We love to engage the chat wall, you guys, during the show, but because of the conversation we had at the beginning of this podcast,
Oh, great.
the top line in my search, or like we think you'd like this,
Oh, boy.
is Ron White's bit about bleeping around with Tiger Woods.
Oh, man. That's a good bit, too. Yeah, y'all go look that one up.
Yeah,
Frank,
go watch that. It's funny.
for this ragtag team of idiots that you're talking to right now, what did you bring to drink?
Oh, I got I'm relatively tame tonight. I'm rocking the
Got the Sprite.
fresh taste of Sprite.
Hey, Coca-Cola product you're talking about too, ATL boys right here. So we are happy to see the Sprite.
Well, you guys know that's my day job, right? I work for Coke.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
I don't think I did.
Wow. So
But
what
I
do you
know now.
All right. So what do you do for Coke?
Grant Hill.
I'm a merchandiser for Coke. I go around to different grocery accounts and small market accounts and help them plan for displays and promotions that are upcoming, resets, all sorts of that sort of thing. But I've been with Coke now a little over a year, and that's the day job, and I think it ties in well because the company is so involved with racing. You see the Sam Bass poster behind me here. When I went in for my interview, as I was walking through the hallways of the office there, they have all sorts of the program covers that Sam does for the Coke 600.
Oh my God.
Lining the walls. So it's kind of neat how both of my jobs kind of cross into each other.
So did you walk in, you walk by those posters and you're like, all right, slam dunk, I've got this. I'm just going to talk about these posters and it's over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guy who drew these, I know him.
Yeah, right?
That's really cool, man.
I've talked about it. My dad worked for Coke for 13 years.
That's right.
Out of high school, but yep. He was started as just a truck driver delivering Cokes around Atlanta and moved his way up through the course of 13 years and got into management and all that stuff. Kind of cool. So
do you have influence, Frank, on those displays where they spell stuff? Like maybe the Daytona 500, they might have Sprites and
Publix
the
and stuff,
D500 and then Cokes all around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where they use the different color 12 packs to make different designs. Like right now, most of them are obviously holiday themed.
Yeah.
With Sprite and Coke, the red and green, they'll make Christmas trees, Santa Claus, all kinds of different things like that. But yeah, that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Sherwin, what are we drinking on today?
Speaking of Coke,
sir,
we are both big fans of Coke Zero Sugar. I don't know why we have to say sugar anymore. Coke Zero.
Yeah, Frank, get on that. Tell them, still Coke Zero.
And our standard
I'll make some calls and they'll ignore that.
Thank you, sir.
Go on.
Thank you. Tell them to call us if they need any more.
Oh yeah. Tell the what's her names? Woodruffs. Tell the Woodruffs.
Yeah, just tell them.
We're on this.
Well, you know what? Really though, just tell them to give some more money to the Woodruff Center because they probably need to spruce that place up a little bit. It's about 40 years old now. For those keeping score at home, that is the entertainment venue at Georgia Tech that's related to performance arts.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have our white label Jimmy. I'm going to break the fourth wall because we do YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And we have a local IPA, Scofflaw.
Scofflaw.
And it's the Basement IPA.
Where's Scofflaw at again?
I'm pretty sure it's in 5 Points, but I'm not 100% positive about that.
I'm looking around.
It is somewhere in what we would consider to be the downtown Atlanta area.
So, brewed and canned by Scofflaw LLC, Canal, Winchester, Ohio, 43125. So, somebody is a liar.
Somebody is lying because Scofflaw is an Atlanta area brewing company. So, that's weird.
You're pouring it out.
I just noticed that. Thank you.
He picked it up to look at the label and started pouring it out on his lap.
On the counter.
Oh, love it.
On my lap.
Love it. Well, 10 minutes into this thing, and we're already pouring beer all over the place. Let's go
started
ahead.
off in an interesting place. So.
Let's go ahead and start into the report card. We'll talk about NASCAR for a little bit, but then we'll
smell like beer.
Then we'll smell. You always smell like beer, dude. No. Let's do it. We should talk about a couple of NASCAR things. Silly season. You know what? Silly season kind of dies down a little bit, but we did hear
like homeroom where you kind of only have to halfway be there during the off season.
Yeah. You're just like maybe we should call it homeroom
before the bell rings to let it out. You're good.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's fine. Homeroom teacher doesn't give a crap. She's still hungover from the night before. and
or already high, whichever.
and I'm not blaming her.
Decade we're in.
We're not passing judgment here.
Maybe it's the horticulture teacher.
She deserves it
for homeroom for a couple years.
Zane Smith, member of the NASCAR Next class of 2018, going to be driving 8 races with JRM. 8. That's kind of funny to me. I just sort of put that together.
Here's the thing I don't know, and
JRM
maybe
8.
Frank may be able to correct us on this, is because that's what I put in the notes. But the last thing I read from Matt Weaver was 4 races. Do you know which is reality there, Frank?
I was under the impression that it was 8 as well.
Okay.
So, in that car.
Yeah. Have you? Do you know much about Zane Smith or where he's coming from? We said member of NASCAR Next, but he's up and comer.
Yeah, he actually was the championship runner-up in ARCA this year. He won 2 or 3 races. Not entirely sure. I do remember he won Talladega, and I believe that was one of 2 consecutive wins that he got on that tour this year.
Have been present.
Not sure what other races, but I do remember he was very competitive in that car, and like I said, he was he did finish second in points. So I mean, he's definitely got some potential, and I'm interested to see what he can do in a car of that caliber.
So, funny enough, privately, I was reading about Zane Smith, and I went, I said, Zane Smith, I know Zane Smith. Why do I know Zane Smith? And then I read his accolades. He's 19 years old, NASCAR Next, comes from ARCA, and I go, no, I don't think I would know him then. I was thinking of an older Zane Smith or something. Sherwin walks in earlier when he comes into here. He goes, dude, did you see Zane Smith's name? And you did you recognize that? I'm like, dude, I recognize it from somewhere. And Sherwin goes, I did the same thing. Zane Smith was a Braves player in the 80s. And I went, thank God, I get this off my chest, like out of my mind.
And played for the Pirates
weird
when the Braves were having their crazy rise.
Yeah. So weird how old something way in the closet sneaks back up on you. And you're like, Zane Smith, I know that name. Why do I know that? And then I just dismissed it in my mind, like I do so many things. Russ, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. But at least this time, there was some connection there.
Sure. Sure. So Zane's wins came in 2017 with Venerini Motorsports. He had 2 restrictor plate wins, Daytona and Talladega.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. Y'all have to pardon Sherwin. He's a little bit on the
Chokey thing going.
yeah, he's got the chokey thing going. He came in here sick, so I'm probably going to be sick tomorrow. But he says I hope not. Yeah, I'm hoping not. Neither. We're not sharing glasses or anything like that this time.
That's the weird part.
Doing his thing. So y'all have to give him a little.
Give me some latitude.
Yeah, latitude, a little encouragement there, and a little liquid courage to go with it. Second period.
Call medicine right
let's
there.
talk about John Henry. So, owner of the Red Sox, Boston Globe, and Liverpool Football Club, interested in a stake in NASCAR. Evidently, he already has a relationship with Roush, so he's got an in, and he's a multi-billionaire. I think 2.5 multis of billionaireism. And
Billion's big. Billion's a big word.
Billion's big word. Yeah. Frank, have you? Is there any bite to this bark?
Well, I mean, that's kind of up to NASCAR. Are they? Obviously, we heard this year that they're, the topic of selling came up. That seems to have gone away in terms of a majority sale. But if they're still interested in, selling a slice of the pie, I think that. Obviously he's certainly interested, and I wonder about with the relationship that he has with the Roush Fenway organization. I'm interested to see if there would be any concern about a possible conflict of interest there. But I think I wish he was more enthusiastic about sponsoring a race team or because that's kind of where they need the money right now. We've got a lot of tenured drivers retiring because they can't find rides. We have teams shutting down because they can't find financing, and this guy wants to throw some billions around just to have a piece of the NASCAR name. But it's his prerogative, and it's what if that's what he wants to do, then hey, so be it. But I think that time will tell. But there could be something there, definitely.
Do you think it's in NASCAR's interest to start selling some stakes? I mean, it's pretty much the Francis family's deal now, but should they consider that? Is this a good idea? If somebody's knocking at their door, ready to spend, I mean, he's probably going to bring what? If he's worth $2.5 billion, I think is what I read, and he wants to throw $100 million at it, that sounds like a good idea.
Twice what Monster Energy paid this year.
So, well, and that's primary sponsorship versus ownership and blah, 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 because he's expecting
entitlement versus
return.
ownership. Very different things, for sure.
So,
actually, I think that's what Sprint paid. I think Monster only paid 20.
I believe it. Frank, what do you think? Is this in NASCAR's best interest? Start looking for some suitors, if you will, outside of the Francis.
Well, I think that the first thing they need to consider is what is his end game, or really with any potential buyer. You have with a company like Monster or Sprint, what they're in it for. They want the advertising, they want the ability to use the name, they want to be able to use the drivers to help market their product. With an individual, what is he looking to gain? What is any individual looking to gain from a partnership with NASCAR?
Well, I'll pause you right there and tell you that there's one thing that a person with power and billions of dollars wants, and that's more power and more billions of dollars.
Yep. No doubt.
And how, when he's looking at that, how is he thinking that he's going to get the money back that he's looking for versus, what is NASCAR's expectation, in terms of his return? I just, is it in their best interest? I mean,
that's a good question.
Is having more money ever really a bad thing? But at the same time, once you take his money, now, you're on the hook for. It's just it's a slippery slope, and I think that if their aim is to make the sport better, how much does he expect to have input? When it comes to the decisions like aero packages and what the schedule and TV deals. How is he just kind of a silent partner? Like, hey, as long as the checks come in, I don't care what you guys do.
Yeah.
Or is he looking to have a voice and a controlling? Does he want to pull a couple of the strings on the puppets, so to speak?
Sure, depending on his state.
I think that kind of that's how I would determine whether it's a good thing or not.
I'm encouraged by this, and here's why. Investors like him, who's got the billions and billions or whatever, right? They're never looking to get into an industry or into a sport or into somewhere. Nobody is investing in the Lakers right now that LeBron is in there. No big names are going to invest in that. All the money's already there, and they're at a peak right here. Everybody wants to invest low so they can get high, right? So the point is, right now, if you're an investor, do you look at NASCAR as something that has this upward trajectory right now, where hey, there's some money to be made here? In other words, we're at a valley, and we can move up. Or is it something that like no, they're just on this downward death spiral that eventually will end up in some hole? To me, if you've got some suitors, some people who are interested, especially somebody who's already made $2.5 billion. I haven't made $2.5 billion. I didn't put my money in the right place, evidently. But he's made his money, and he put it in the right place. And so he's looking for another right place to get what I say before, more power, more money. So I'm encouraged when I hear that there are suitors looking to invest some money or put some money into the sport. And to me, that's a life commitment too. Whereas Monster Energy can say, all right, we'll throw $20 million at it, and we'll be gone next year. See you later, whatever. If it doesn't work out, or if they're just not seeing the ROI. But this guy, if he's ponying up his own deal, his own money, this blood money. This is investment, and he wants to see more out of it.
Well, there's four things that you buy in the modern world. You can distill it down to four things that you buy. You buy a service, you buy a product, you buy an investment, or you buy influence.
He's buying like 3 of those or something.
I would say potentially could be buying all four if you're smart enough. So I would think that NASCAR would definitely want to engage this type of human being in being involved in NASCAR in a bigger way, because he obviously understands some vital things about how you make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. He put his money in the right place a few, billion times, evidently. So there we are.
And he did it in a sporting environment.
Yeah. So he knows sports too. I mean, that's why I say I'm encouraged by this type of thing. Although I'm an eternal optimist, maybe this is the downfall of society. Who knows?
Well, I mean, it could be in 2 years when we do episode 289. We'll be talking about a different subject.
Yeah. We'll see about it. Here we go. Darlington has announced they're celebrating 1990 through 1994 for the 2019 throwbacks. So early 90s. What would you look forward to the most early 90s? Let's start with you, Frank. What are you looking forward to for early 90s throwbacks?
Well, first off, I'd love it if the teams actually stuck with that. They all,
I hear what you're saying.
That's funny.
Every year, they announce the target range, and you get like maybe a quarter to a third of the cars that use throwbacks actually use a scheme from that era. So, I think there's a lot of good options. I always liked the original interstate scheme on the Gibbs car when
all the black.
They started their team with Dale Jarrett. The black sides, and it was kind of like like an EKG, that little downward blip right behind the number 18 with the green hood and the green roof. I think that would be the interstate still has the association with the 18 car and Joe Gibbs Racing. So I mean that one's out there. In the K&N series, I believe it was a couple last year, or maybe the year before. Somebody did the old Morgan McClure Kodak scheme.
Ooh,
I think that would be cool to see on Kevin Harvick's
Marlin's car.
Especially, yeah.
So
I mean, there's a few
and
that
Ernie
I think
drove that car
could work
too,
out
didn't he?
really well.
Did Ernie drive that car? I don't know.
Swervin? I think Swervin drove that car before he got in the 28.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, he was in that car in 90, 91, and then 90 through 92, I believe, and then he took over the 28 midway in 93.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sherwin, what do you look forward to 1990 through 1994? And y'all, full disclosure, I mean, we didn't really become fans till 04. So, like, my grandfather used to watch it. So when I would go over to their house, and they had a pool, so we went there every weekend, like in-ground pool. This was before all the regulations stuff, so they had like 10-foot deep or 8.5-foot deep, whatever, one end and all that. So we went there every weekend, if not twice a week, to go to the pool. But in between the pool, Granddad's watching TV, but that's all I really knew about NASCAR in the early 90s. So, point is, what Sherwin and I both know about early 90s is just more about what we've watched in retrospect.
In a historical
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sherwin.
So I think what I would say is all the things that I really want to see for sure have been done, except for I wonder, despite the manufacturer difference, how close Hendrick Motorsports could get to Chase's car looking like Alan Kulwicki's. Hooters number 7. So that's number 1, probably on my list. I'd love to see. So Frank talked about interstate batteries, and that car that's a flashy car. I loved it when Dale Jarrett was in it. But how close could we come to getting the 51 Rowdy Busch Cup car and just say, forget about the number for this race. We're going to run the Exxon. You know what I mean? Like, how close can we replicate some of these iconic things that have happened in real life and in entertainment? You know, could somebody run a smoking? Well, no, we can't do that because that's too old. But in 1990, yeah, I mean, will Richard Childress have the balls to run a mostly black with silver and white Dale Earnhardt scheme?
Yeah,
with Austin behind the wheel.
Boy, that'd be killer. And so here's mine. And Roger, if you've been following along in the chat, the true rainbow, the original, the OG, 1993, I believe, was Jeff Gordon's first year. But you have to grow a trash stash at the same time. Like, you got to go all in.
They did it 2 years ago. They did the scheme.
Yep.
But
no,
definitely have to have the trash stash.
Right. There was no trash stash here. Like, I need a trash stash. So I don't know if they can do this. Like, the fire suit back then, too, felt like it was, like, Gordon wore an extra small, and they gave him a medium. So it was like frilly almost. You know what I mean? Like the sleeves were
medium.
Yeah,
it's
medium.
Be pretty taut.
Right. So it just didn't even
mullet.
fit him.
You have to have this trash stash and the mullet.
Trash stash and the
all
mullet.
There.
Yep.
And the trucker hat with like a fold in the middle and the rope. Remember the rope with like the horn?
Yes.
Stick up like a horn.
Yes. I love it. So you got to go all in on that, and the sponsors.
Rodney Sandstorm needs to coach everybody on what they should be doing.
Yes, totally agree. I love it. So, that's what I would look forward to.
Velcro shoes.
William Byron even shaved yet?
Fair question. Has William Byron even shaved yet? Good question.
I guarantee you he does not own a razor. That's I will bet a hundo that he doesn't own.
He just goes to the barber every 4 weeks, and they just sort of clean it up,
knock it down.
It's done. Yeah, knock it down from the couple wisps.
The peach fuzz.
Fourth period, Casey Kane announces a 50-race sprint car schedule, including running races in the Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions Series. Jesus, that's too many words.
That's a lot of it.
That's they should call it the ACASC. OCS, so that I can mess that one up too.
They leave out their sponsor in the handle, so it's just All-Star Circuit of Champions in their Twitter handle,
and that's owned by Tony Stewart. So 50 race, this is what would you call it? Where I mean you talk the talk and walk the walk. He's like, I gotta step away from NASCAR. I cannot do 500 lap, 3.5, 4. 5+ hour races, even though the 5+ hour races were the ones where like he won a boatload of. But
his best track was Charlotte
at the 600.
At the 600,
yeah,
won there 3 times.
Yeah, and so, but saying I want to get back into sprint car racing, so now he's going to race 50 times. Holy crap! Like that's not
he had said that,
taking your money and run. He's doing it
when he did his. I think he came on Dale Jr.'s podcast. And talked about. He said, "I'm going to run a for real, like not a championship contender schedule, but I'm going to run a real schedule. We're going to go hit 3 races a week for 15, 20 weeks, and I'm going to run.
What I love,
short. They're 30 lap, they're 50 lap races.
Yeah. What I love about this too is that as Casey Kane fan, I get to go watch him somewhere. Like, if you're running 50 races, one of them's going to be within smelling distance of where I live. You know, there ain't no doubt.
Yeah, I think we may have to go all the way to either Charlotte or Nashville to see one, but we'll go.
I can smell Charlotte and Nashville.
Yeah, I can smell it from
You
here.
know what I mean?
Well, so the thing that's cool about to me is listening to his fellow competitors talk about, all right, well, he's all freshly done in a cup car, but, Larson's like, is Casey Kane going to be Rookie of the Year in the World of Outlaws Series next year?
Hilariously.
Because that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because Casey's probably going to go up there, y'all, and he's probably going to kick a lot of people's asses. Because he was really good at that discipline.
Mm-hmm. Frank, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's he didn't leave NASCAR because he didn't want to be there. You know, his body just simply won't let him, do what he needs to do to stay, to be in the car and be competitive and be safe. So obviously the fire in him to compete is far from extinguished. And good for him for finding, there had to be some, extreme level of disappointment, because he probably still felt like he had a lot to accomplish, in NASCAR. He's won some big races, but there's these guys always want to do more. There's always things that on their list that they want to check off. So, to find out that, he was going to have to, that he was, whether he liked it or not, he was done. And, that had to be disheartening, but at the same time, he's taken it as an opportunity to go be successful somewhere else. And, like I said, kudos to him. And I would hope, that he does go out there and put on a good show and win some races, and just that he's, content with where he's at, because he didn't get to leave the, NASCAR on his terms. And, I don't even think he got a good enough send off. Some of the, celebrations we've seen over the past few years for guys like Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Dale Jr., Matt Kenseth. I don't feel like he got that fanfare that they did. So, I think that it's good for, for him on a personal level, that he's going to be able to go out and chase more checkered flags, and I'm sure he'll get a few of them.
Yeah, and not just that, but you can see already they have announced a partner they have that wants to be on his car for this entire endeavor. You see Clint Boyer, after they had their party blowout or whatever you want to call it last week or the week before, saying, I'm really disappointed that we didn't do something better for Casey. Hopefully we can do something better down the road. Maybe NASCAR will learn from that post and that influence that Clint has. As fans, I think, Rusty and I have probably glamorized to some degree our enjoyment of being fans.
Yeah.
Of Casey Kane, but we move on, but we want him to have the most success that he can have, and this is a really cool announcement for me.
For me, the other thing I think is cool. This is not just like an exhibition race somewhere. 50 freaking races is a commitment for. It's not. Well, I'm tired of being on the road, or I'm tired of being 50 races. You're gonna be on the road, brother, and you're gonna be working hard throughout all this. And if you want to be competitive, you got to work extra hard. I think it's cool that's going on. I don't know.
Well, I think it's even cooler to add to what you're saying, that he's running multiple disciplines, because his team is going to build those cars. A World of Outlaw car is not the same thing as a Knoxville Nationals car. It's not the same thing as a Tony Stewart All-Star Circuit car. They're all a teeny tiny little bit different. And he's going to build like his team, and like his brother works for his team. Like it's a family operation.
Yeah,
to me, that is really cool.
Cousins and everybody else. Yeah. So let's go to fifth period. We have not been very strict on giving grades in the report card lately.
We've none, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, over the past, I don't know, 6-8 months.
I
probably.
give you an F. No.
Right. But we're going to give a grade right here. I'd like to hear, since this is most likely our last podcast of 2018, because we're just going to probably take next week off. Y'all forgive us. It's Christmas and family and all that. But, Frank, let's hear your grade. And by the way, the rules of the grading system, since we haven't thrown it out there in a long time, you can give it an A through F. You could give it a Z. You could give it a number. You could give it an animal name. You could give it, like how Prince used to have that sign that was formerly known as Prince.
Oh, the one where he was trying to flick the middle finger at his previous manager.
Right. You can give it anything, as it turns out. But give us a grade for the 2018 NASCAR season in review, in retrospect. What do you think that NASCAR and the racing product and everything else, if we sum that all up, what is our grade this year?
Oh, boy. I would have to, well, first off, I'm going to stick with grades that I know.
Okay. And by the way, this is defending the thesis, so we're here.
Yeah. This is Shark Tank right now.
A, B, C, D, and F.
Okay. You can give it an E. We'll allow E's here. I don't even know what that,
Existential.
Somewhere between D and F, but
like a D minus, F plus. I'm going to say I would have to give it a high B, or even I would even go as far as a low A.
Okay.
And the reason for that is, I think that there was a lot of, especially early in the season when Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch were basically winning every, 2 out of every 3 races, it seemed like. There was a lot of, people tend to look down on domination when it's happening, and then years down the road they look back on it with admiration.
Yes.
Well,
I love what you said.
That is
there.
a funny way of saying that, especially between those two drivers. They both have significant fan bases, but they both piss a lot of fans off.
Sure. Here's the thing. Both of those drivers I have liked that they won, and I have hated that they've won. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm a fan.
It's in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You describe them. So I'm gonna piggyback Frank, because I called it in my head before he even started speaking.
Sure.
I was gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a solid 87.
Dadgummit, sure. All right.
We're keeping the Hope Scholarship for this year.
Here in the yeah.
But I'm really concerned about what next year's curriculum is.
Okay. I'm gonna give an A minus then, and here's why. We've said it before. This was the best product that I think I've seen in the 14 years of being a fan. So as far as on-track product and everything, and our champion with Joey, holy crap, this is so cool. We got a new champion. We got
sliced bread,
drama in it.
Reaches his potential,
and the racing was just. I mean, I got goosebumps right now.
Chase Elliott won 3 races.
Goosebumps on top of goosebumps. But
get that chicken skin, Marty Smith.
Right. So the racing was amazing. We had a few minor setbacks. Some of
them are gonna suck. That's just the thing. Some races are gonna suck.
Well, not just races, but like even extracurricular. So the Brian France thing might end up being a blessing in disguise. We've talked about that.
I don't know how it couldn't be
at this point. So
it's a black eye, but black eye's heel.
Right, and form like that layer that makes it not black the next time. I'm making this up, but
yeah. I don't think we're ever going to hear from him again.
I agree, and I think that's a good thing, to be honest. So, I think there's a lot of dude. So this is just me and Sherman talking here. I went back, go back. What do we got? Boom, Matt Weaver with 8. I went back and watched that 2017 presentation, and I sent it to a coworker of mine where he walked up, his mouth was open, he's sweating, and he's like, yeah, he's like, and he goes, I'd like to present this to Martin Truex Jr.
Didn't even shake his hand.
Walked off, like, handed him a thing and scurried off without shaking the hand. And Truex was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
okay.
What substance was he on? Because
right.
we don't.
I just watched it again recently. I don't want to have to rehash all that, but I just watched it again recently. And
That wasn't Coke, by the way.
Yeah,
that was something else.
right, as it turns out. So, but still, in 2018, that's a black eye. In 2019, I think that's a diamond in the rough kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think we're on a good. You know what? This is where this ties in, dadgummit, to John Henry. What we talked about in the second period ties the room together. The whole rug thing, where hey, this thing happened, but now we've got this guy who wants the billionaire who wants to invest some money in this thing. We've got this trajectory that looks upward to me. The only stumbling block, the A- part, the minus part about this A is the rules package. What the hell are we doing? We just had the best racing we've ever had, in my opinion, in 15, 18 years, whatever I said that we've been watching NASCAR. And
we've been
that
pretty
is
hard in it for about 14 or 15 years.
Yeah. So what? That's the part that's got me.
Here's the other thing I would say.
That's the bear part of my bull market with NASCAR.
The other thing that's showing up in my YouTube advertisement section, and this is something I definitely listened to, and I couldn't wait to listen to, is if you didn't hear the Dale Jr. download with Jeff Gordon, you didn't hear Jeff Gordon drop the bomb that Comcast was an eyelash away from buying NASCAR.
Oh, geez. I did not know
if
that.
a company that big is interested in NASCAR, I would say I would agree with you. We have an upward trajectory.
Yeah. So everything is upward, and then the rules package thing almost looks like I don't know. If I were to I'm the UFC like championship contender, and right before I walk out onto the stage, I'm like, Sherwin, kick me between the legs as hard as you can.
Oh.
And then like you kick me between the legs, and I'm like, oh, and then I walk on stage. Yeah, and it's like, dude, why did you kick yourself between the legs there? Like that didn't make sense. So I don't know. That's a terrible analogy, Frank.
It's fun though.
Have we driven you to insanity at this point? Are we in the ditch?
No. You got a long way to go. Can't scare me that.
God, nobody's going to respect us if we keep it on the pavement.
Okay, sure. So let's go to recess. I posited this question several weeks ago, and I wanted to bring it up on the podcast. So I think I even made a like rare Rusty tweeting a survey thing, and I said this one. So here's the thing.
I missed this. Somehow.
I don't know. It's cool. So we are coming up into, obviously, Christmas season. We've got 7 days left.
We have to talk about movies at some point.
We just had, I think we talked about them last week a little bit, but
we might have.
It got deep last week. So Christmas parties and everything. We had our company Christmas party this past week. It stayed fairly tame. It was like a tiki bar, so we had the tiki drinks. I wore a Hawaiian shirt. I usually like dress up in suit and tie. I
remember that.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I actually wore just jeans and a Hawaiian shirt. Because it's kind of tiki themed and whatnot. We had a good time. So here's a question: you're going to your company Christmas party, and you have a carrot stick, right? And you dip it into the dip, and you take a bite. Is it legit? Is it okay? Is it kosher for you to turn that carrot stick around and re-dip a second time? Obviously, like potato chip double dip, and that's like faux pas at this point, right? But can you do the two-side thing? Frank, where are you at on the double-sided double dip of the carrot stick?
I'm going to say no. And the reason is whether you did flip the carrot around to get the side that you hadn't bitten yet, if anyone who sees that might not know that you flipped the carrot, get yourself a spoon, put a little bit of dip on your plate, and just avoid that whole situation, because then if someone sees that, they're going to point out and be like, look, he's double dipping, and then there's a spotlight on you, and you're just standing there awkwardly holding your carrot in the dip, unable to explain, your thought process. So, no, I'm advising anyone in this situation to not do that.
Okay.
And, procure your own supply of dip and on a small plate or something like that, and that way you don't have to worry about the leery eyes of your coworkers.
So on the YouTube comments, Mick Rose just said, according to the 2019 rules package, you can dip it again. Tell me that ain't funny.
That is
nice work,
funny.
Mick. Nice work, Mick. Here's my thing.
Only fits through the restrictor plate.
I'm going to posit a theory, a hypothetical, whatever you call it. We can test this. But spooned onto your plate dip does not taste as good as like from the bowl dip, right?
That's 100% correct.
Okay, I'm just making sure I've got some like backup here, like because you gotta
it gets
like
cold.
And you gotta like swirl it around. It gets cold if it's supposed to be hot. It gets hot if it's supposed to be cold. It ain't right, is what I'm saying.
It's bullshit, really.
right. So the whole spooning thing. So I am totally in on that. So I respect that Frank has brought up sort of the social aspect here. Not that that you're going to spread your disease and awful things to everybody, but the social aspect looks like, hey, you've got half a carrot stick, and half of that thing was bit off, obviously, and you're about to dip that back in there. People are watching here, and I'm kind of saying, you know what? I'm going to sneak that second one in while everybody's looking the other way, giving a toast to the MVP of the party or whatever it is.
Well, if you take you a shot of liquor right beforehand.
Well, yeah, then the antiseptics are working just fine. There's no problem. Or just spike the dip.
Here's another idea. What you could do is, instead of putting some dip on a plate and taking it for yourself, you put some dip on a plate, leave it on the table, and take the container of dip.
The George Jetson deal, right? Or no, that was his wife.
I own this place.
That was
sort of process.
That was a Jane, his wife thing, right? Anybody remember the Jetsons? Where in the intro, like he takes out $20 to give her, and she takes a wallet and leaves him with $20. Like that's
I forgot that.
Oh, okay.
I did watch the Jetsons.
I loved the Jetsons when I was growing up, so that was my thing.
I like the dog.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff. Being fair.
Good stuff. And Beast says, honestly, depends if ladies are in attendance. Beast, here's the thing.
I don't think it does.
No. Here's the thing. We're in a society now where we have to be very careful with gender politics and gender stuff and all this stuff. But listen, you get a group of dudes together, and we don't care if we spit in the damn dip. I'm going to eat it if I'm hungry. I'm just saying, I love you ladies, and I respect and everything else, but I got to be truthful too. That's the other side of this thing. We got to be truthful. We can't be.
And I'm not even calling you out. Like if you eat one corner off and you go back in the dip, I'm like, I don't it doesn't register.
If you get some on your finger while you're doing it,
chip left,
right,
or other food product, do you have any left? Get it in there.
Right. And if you've got a crumb and you get like halfway up your thumb, beyond the knuckle in the dip, the only thing as a dude, I might call you on. I'd be like, "Oh man, you want some dip with that chip?"
Exactly.
Or chip with that dip, whatever it is. There's a thing, and Sherwin, me and you both know some people who like you can't even like drink out of the same. If we were drinking moonshine, they would not drink out of the same moonshine jar that you drank moonshine out of, even though it, by definition, kills the germs that they're worried about.
It's like 180 proof.
Right. So
they're like, I don't know, that's weird. And I'm like,
all the germs you were thinking about were decimated.
You want to know how the bubonic plague started?
Yeah.
People started getting scared of germs.
So there you go. Let's move on. Ask PTM, Mick Rose, at GoDucks42_Mick, and he's been active on the YouTube here. If you could pick one racetrack anywhere and have any two drivers run a 50-lap shootout in any car, what would it be? Holy crap, there's a lot of innies in there.
Dude, so he got that from Brad Little's son. His name is Jesse Little. Brad Little had, excuse me, sorry guys, had the best mullet probably in the history of this car.
Yeah.
He drove the John Deere
look out.
green car, and he had this gorgeous mullet.
You know what? I don't know that that's the first time I've heard those two words slammed next to each other, gorgeous mullet, but it gives a visual. When you say a gorgeous mullet, it gives a visual that
and the stash is part of it.
Of course it is. I mean,
you
if you
can't
got
have a
if
mullet
you've got
without
a
the stash.
Yeah, if you got a gorgeous mullet, you got a stash. But
it was like Jeff Gordon can actually grow a mustache. And it was in like 1997. And it was this yellow and green car, John Deere. I don't know if it was Roush yet. Ultimately, I think Kurt Busch drove that car at some point. That paint scheme in that car.
Right.
But his son is a racer now. I've been working to get him on the show. He put out a public question that you just mentioned.
Frank, where you at?
Oh boy, yeah, that's a tough one. Let's see, any track. Let's pick the track first.
Okay.
I'll go with personally the most. I'm certainly haven't done any racing in my time, but just from a visual standpoint, I think the most difficult track I've ever seen is the F1 course at Monaco.
I've got strong opinions about that course.
The street course at Monaco.
Okay.
But let's not do Formula One cars. Let's do something a little more fun.
Okay.
Let's do a couple Silver Crown cars.
Okay. I'm totally. Hey, by the way, you totally turned me off when you said Monaco because of
Correct.
F1. Yep. And Sherwin was making faces.
Yeah.
Like both of us were like, and then you said, let's not do F1. We're like, Like,
so Silver Crowns are winged or not winged?
Not winged.
Right. So it's a midget with a smaller motor, right?
Yes.
It's a 360 midget.
Yes, it's a Legends car that's been like souped.
Yeah.
With
an open wheel frame.
Okay, fair, yeah, with open wheel, yeah.
So we're going to do Monaco because it's a challenging course.
Okay.
Silver Crown cars because there aren't many race cars out there that I think that the driver matters more and the car matters less than that discipline. And then I'm going to throw two drivers out, one who's going to have the advantage when it comes to the car, one who's going to have the advantage when it comes to the racetrack.
Okay.
I want to see Tony Stewart race Juan Pablo Montoya.
Holy crap. Whoa. On a PETA.
Okay, so you just turned me way back on.
Cars.
So Sherwin's turned on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. In terms of the discipline and who's driving, I'm very excited to see that.
Okay.
Race. I don't think we need 50 at Monaco. We probably only need 10.
Yeah,
because
especially
it's so
in that
long.
Car. I think 50 is enough to probably put anyone watching to sleep. We don't want the 12 hours of Monaco.
Or have like
the Monaco GP is only like 38 laps.
Yeah. I mean, have like a mercy rule. When anyone gets half a lap ahead, we're done. So, Sherwin, where are you at? I love that answer.
Golly, I knew that what either one of you would have said, depending on when I went in the order, would change probably.
I mean, I can do mine if you want to double change. I know what I'm going to say.
My personal is, I want to see the car that Mark Martin used to race in ASA, whatever that package was, on a small, medium banked asphalt circuit. I want to see him race Casey Kane in a 50-lap shootout.
Oh, so you want to see it for the racing? Yeah.
For the sake of, I'm curious.
Yeah.
How well, but we know what Mark Martin did in that series. I'm curious what Casey could do.
I would like to see, first off, the venue. I want to see Dixie Motor Speedway here in Atlanta, or in Woodstock, Georgia,
yes,
rather.
Sir.
That's our closest local dirt track where things
they actually
can
still have races.
Yeah, and things can go down. People can fight. It's people roll up in things worse. Here's the thing: you roll up in your truck, and then people roll up in worse trucks to race what they're hauling in that truck. You know what I mean? That's.
Yeah,
and my truck is 15 years old. Let's not lie here. That's cool. So I want local dirt track, and I would like. I think I would like to see. I mean, the biggest thing that they could run there, and since Mick gave us so much leeway here, he's like any driver, any blah blah blah. I want to see Donnie Allison kill Yarborough race 20 laps on the freaking dirt track with no rules and no whatever you want to do.
God,
and I want him to do that in 1979 February 27th or whatever.
Oh yeah, both of them racing like 1972, 72
or 79
fastbacks. Gran Torinos, both of them. They're
my
Gran Torinos, and they're running a flat 3/8 mile oval like Gresham.
Oh, and by the way, no rules.
And
you get to soup this thing
no
up
rules.
Whatever you want to do at that time.
Get a block,
whatever.
And that's it. You build everything else you way.
You're not going through pre-inspection. You're not going through post-inspection. We don't care if you put freaking oil slicks in there. We don't care if you put freaking rockets out the front. I don't care. But I want to see those too. And right after the Daytona race, by the way, that's when I want to see it. I want to see the revenge factor. I want to see where they're at. Yeah,
the off
exactly. So there's where I'm at with that. Let's see
this
what we got.
thing is gonna get crazy.
Oh man, Andrew Cantian at KHANTZIAN. He says, here's a good one. Which driver is most likely to roll up to a party with a 6-pack of Smirnoff Ice?
Oh my God! Well, Trevor Bain's not in the sport anymore, right?
I mean, you're allowed
That's
to say
probably
this.
Unfair.
He probably doesn't drink. So, Frank,
Trevor Bain's not bringing Smirnoff Ice.
What's that?
Trevor Bain's not bringing Smirnoff Ice. Trevor Bain would probably bring Perrier or something.
Perrier.
That's a good point.
Sparkling water.
That was intended to be a.
Frank, if you choose not to answer this question, it's okay.
You do have a professional relationship with the sport, so you're allowed to not engage in our tomfoolery.
Right. So, but who shows up with Smirnoff Ice? I mean, come on.
Who's not fun?
Who's not fun? Ugh.
All right.
I have a hard time. Every time I think of the question in my head, my brain instantly spits out Danica.
Danica will be so much fun to hang out with.
Not racing anymore, so I can't.
She brings a Smirnoff. I get it.
Danica Patrick.
I'm taking this a different direction.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And I would drink Smirnoff Ice with Danica Patrick all day, every day.
Do not forget, Sherwin. Not long ago, you remember icing people?
Yes.
So Andrew Cantian, I don't know. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I mean we've met you, and I do not age shame anyone, but Cantian is in college and late college or whatever, and so he may not remember that icing people was a thing. So by the way, we iced a friend of ours in his. I think he got married in 2008. And for his wedding present, we gave him this box, and when he opened it, there was a Smirnoff Ice sitting on top, and said, "You got iced, bitch." That's what it was. This was his wedding present. Was getting out. Now underneath that was a Sawzall or a Dremel or something something cool. But he got iced, and he had. So when you got iced, That was when a buddy of yours would show up with a Smirnoff Ice out of nowhere and just boom, show it to you. And if it got showed to you,
drink the whole thing.
not only that, you had to get down on one knee and
yeah.
drink the whole thing. You remember you had to like
Yes, you had to get on one
yeah,
knee
yeah. If you got
drink
ice,
the
you got
whole
ice.
thing.
So here's the thing: when I saw Smirnoff Ice, I didn't think about like being a pansy or anything. I was thinking about being like you ice somebody. So I'm thinking Bubba Wallace.
Oh, yeah, balls out.
Bubba Wallace shows up and he
he's
goes,
just icing
boom,
dudes. Yeah.
and he ices
he's
your
just
ass.
Icing dudes.
Oh my goodness!
He's like slipping that thing in your back pocket, and like, hey, thanks, man, pull it out.
Down on a knee, have to ice the thing. So that's where I'm at with Smirnoff
that
Ice.
is
I got
perfect.
Bubba Wallace.
Well, I mean, golly, I'm just gonna like copycat you and say Blaney.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Blaney,
that would
go
be like a
go with the
tag
counterpart.
team
Yeah,
pair.
yeah, right on. So, yeah, nothing wrong with the Smirnoff Ice if it is done in that way. So, y'all, we got Christmas coming up. Frank, what's your Christmas plans? Where are you up to?
Well, we got a relatively tame holiday plans. My wife's dad he just got in town yesterday.
Okay.
So we'll, with all kinds of
Cheers, Dad-in-law.
Yep, yeah. Fortunately, mine's pretty cool. I know father-in-laws get a bad rap, but I'm pretty fortunate on that front.
Dude, I'm with you.
So
My
he's
father-in-law.
in town and with all kinds of goodies and you know, to be honest with you, my wife and I really didn't even get each other anything. We have more fun buying stuff for the girls.
Oh yeah, with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you know, we've got all kinds of stuff for them. We're just gonna hang around at home, cook a little something, and you know, throw some presents around.
my man. You know what? I'm with you. Like, father-in-law is a nerd, and I'm a nerd, and so me and him like nerd out. It's a good relationship. It's been there for I guess 20 years now. So we're good on that. Mother-in-law, love her to death. So we're all everything is cool with the in-laws. I don't have that like mother-in-law weirdness thing or father-in-law like kind of half respect thing that you don't know what to do and not sure what's going on. Like we figured out our stuff. So I got a text from my mom earlier. By the way, my parents just moved back to Atlanta in the last week, so they are officially back. And my mom texted me and she's like, "Can we do Christmas at your house?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we've got all the stuff right here to do Christmas. We've got a tree, we've got presents. I'll make dinner. Everything's cool. So we'll do Christmas over here." Sherwin, what are you doing for Christmas?
We're doing it on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
We had my sister and her husband in for Thanksgiving, so they're not going to be able to come back because they live in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know. Your lasagna and that like sausage penne thing you do is really good." And she's like, "All right, we'll do the sausage penne thing. We'll do it Monday, and off you go."
So here's the thing. My parents were not here for Thanksgiving, so I'm doing this. But I didn't know any better, maybe till 30-plus years old. My family, for Christmas, like dinner, was a complete and total copy-paste of Thanksgiving. We do Thanksgiving for Christmas every year. I mean, we're doing turkey. We do dressing. We do cranberry sauce. I mean, everything is the exact same again for Christmas. And I never thought about it differently. Like, oh, maybe we should do steaks or a roast or something. Like there was a coworker of mine, and I was talking to him about it. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to do this standing rib roast thing." I'm like, "You suck!" And then I didn't say that, but I was like, "Oh wait, other people can actually do. You can actually do something other than Thanksgiving for Christmas."
So we did that a lot when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and last year, my dad had the idea that we should do because my sister and her future husband at the time came in for Christmas and not Thanksgiving. So my parents were like, "We're not really gonna do a turkey," and I don't, what are you? I was like, "We're having turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I will smoke it.
Mm-hmm.
I will bring it. It'll be fine." Of course, old people that are almost 70 lose their minds over because everything isn't exactly like they always thought it was. So the smokiness that added to the drippings in the gravy.
Oh, that's
like,
right out. Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
this. I'm
It's
throw
it in the yard.
Delicious.
Y'all don't know what's going on.
And so my sister came in for for Christmas, and we did a ribeye roast, and I was very supportive.
See, that's where I'm at.
Bring my device.
Maybe I should do that.
Tells us what temperature it is.
Right.
You'll love this. You'll think it's cool. My phone will go beep 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 when it's the right temperature.
Right. It's like cheating or something. Yeah, it's great now. I'm planning on introducing maybe some changes in the tradition here for next year. Like let's do something a little different because we just did Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes over. Shopping. Frank, have you finished Christmas shopping? You've got your wife. You kind of talked about how maybe y'all are not exactly doing the same thing. Are you done with Christmas shopping for the kids at this point?
We keep thinking we are, and then it's one of those things like we're not looking for anything else, but we keep finding stuff. So I'm not even sure if it'll all fit under the tree at this point. Her dad brought a bunch of stuff because they live in Florida, so he brought a bunch of stuff up that they've been collecting for the past couple months. So yeah, I think our living room will probably look something like an explosion at a toy factory, but I think we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I thought that last week, and
then there you go.
The pile in our walk-in closet has grown since last week. So no promises, but I think we're done. Close to done.
I can relate in that I continue to think I'm done with my wife, and then there's almost this there's this mathematical thing, and I would love to see the math on this sort of thing or whatever it is. But I'll have 4 presents for her, and then next thing I know, I look under the tree and there's 5 presents for me, right? And I'm like, well, I got to get something, and I can't be outdone. So then I get 6. I get 2 more. But they're crappy, and then whatever. I'll just spend a little bit of money and get that, and then next thing I know, now there's 7 for me. I'm like, oh, look out! I'll show you. So I spend $100 on the next one to outdo, and then next thing I know, there's 9 for me. This is an ongoing thing, and next thing you know, you're way too much money in. For what? We're laughing about the whole thing. About I blew the budget out of the water. I don't care, and you don't want to tell your wife. I spent way too much money on you because now what? Now she feels bad, so she goes to spend another $200 on you, and you have to spend the next $200. It's self perpetuating. This snowball effect. This
race.
We're turning it, But it's all in good fun. That's the whole thing. If it's in good fun, if we're having fun, and we are having fun, by the way, with this whole thing. So I don't have any kids, so I what can I say other than
spoil your wife? You should.
We're having fun. We're having fun with this. So
y'all want to spoil each other.
Are you done?
I would say all I would say about it is I like to spoil my parents and get them stuff that makes them happy when they open it.
Yeah. So, are you done yet or no?
Oh, I haven't started.
Oh, haven't started. Perfect.
Yeah, not
Perfect.
even started. No.
7 days ago, haven't started.
Right.
But I'm okay with that. By the way, that's how I grew up. We used to go to the mall on Christmas Eve every year for 10 years that I knew existed. Probably several years before that and several years after. But that was a family tradition. Some families go to Black Friday. We went to Christmas Eve mall. Procrastination is strong in the family. So
in the last 10 years, I think it is very fair to say that I have bought 85% or more of my family's gifts on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. My wife.
I'm not planning to wait that long this time. I'd really like to do it tomorrow if I get a flipping chance.
My wife actually, she called me today on like the FaceTime thing on video while I was at work, and she goes, "We just got a box in from this thing, and it says it needs to be refrigerated." And she goes, "Here's the thing: if it's you and you got it for me, like I'll back away, like I'm done." And I was like. And I'm like counting all the things because we've been doing this back and forth thing or whatever. And I'm like, No, I did not.
Did I send you like a coupon for Butcher Box?
Right. I'm like, I did not buy you anything, and you did not buy me anything. And it said on the thing, Mr. and Mrs. Wallace, right? And she goes, should I open it up and just like put it in the fridge and just pretend we didn't get it yet? I'm like, yeah, just open it up. So she opens it up, and there's a 2-pound block of cheese. And we have and it's like,
holy crap.
It's nice cheese. This is good cheese. And y'all, I like me some cheese.
2 pounds is a bunch load of cheese.
I like me some cheese, right?
And I love cheese too.
Right. And so she puts it in the fridge, and she couldn't find any documentation around what the deal was. We just got some cheese, right? And so I came home, and I like searched deeper and like tore the box open and found this little note, and it's from a family member of hers. So this is her deal to deal with at this point. But we got that was kind of funny, getting some cheese and whatnot. Yeah. But I am almost I'm with Frank in that I think I'm done with shopping, and then every few hours I like see something that like, ooh, I should buy that. And
that's fun.
We're doing the back.
I mean, buying stuff for people's fun.
Let's close this out with strange. No, in the ditch with DeGilio.
Are we ditching?
We're ditching. Let's do this. And I mean, pretty straightforward.
Started in the deepest
pretty straightforward.
Part of the ditch.
She says, "What's a worse Christmas present you've ever received?" Now, here's the thing. I could probably offend some people. I could probably also like cut deep and like get really like get some
like
people
disowned,
upset. Yeah. This could get bad. So you gotta like stay topical. Well, in my family, you gotta stay topical right here. Because I've received some stuff that has just been like, all right,
well, sucks.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I am such a person. Like, if I want something, I go buy it for me, right?
That's what I tell my parents all the time. If I really want something, I will buy it before you will ever think to give it to me.
Right. I already own the thing that you like. You're not being creative here. I already own the thing. So, But me and Serena have a thing where from Thanksgiving through Christmas, we do not buy ourselves anything, and we'll tell each other anything that like we just kind of want or whatever. So one year I said, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus here because there is no bus to be thrown under. This is a communication snafu.
Serena's fixing to get rolled up under the bus.
No, it's not Serena.
Okay.
It's her mother.
That'd be funny.
No, it's not. It's not.
That would be funny though.
Ellen, love you. Here's the thing. I asked for a very specific. I said, "Listen, I need this. I do a lot of cooking, and I wanted this very specific spatula, and a set of these spatulas that are metal spatula. Like think of like a fish spatula. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm
flipper.
Yeah.
Strong handle, long metal stuff.
Right, exactly. So there was a telephone game that happened at that point. I told Serena. Serena told somebody. Somebody told somebody.
It was freaking pre-kindergarten at the daggone
exactly
the ear thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. The telephone game thing. And so telephone game, like 5 generations later, gets her mother, and she bought exactly what she was told to buy.
Did she buy you a trash can?
No. Might as well have. I get these silicone spoons is what it was. And so here's the thing. Like I had asked for but I have a terrible memory too. So I remember asking or I had asked for this spatula thing, and then I forgot that I had even asked for those.
Right.
So then I get these spatulas, and I'm like, I already have like 6 of these things, right? And I get 2 of them, and her mom's staring at me like, yeah, how about those? I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm not saying these were bad. She got exactly what she either was told or interpreted what she was told to get me. So there's no like passing of judgment here, but it was really funny to receive something that you're just absolutely confused on. You know what I mean?
Oh, that happened. That has happened a lot with my mom and dad, and it's because I can't hide anything. And you know this because you've known me for 20 years. Like I open something, and I'm like, I might have like the Ron White face.
Hmm.
Like, do you like it? I'm like,
I don't know what it is to even like.
Does it look like I like it, or did I get like really excited?
Right.
Oh, cool! This is awesome, and like put it on or go, thank you.
Right.
All right.
So I don't know where to put blame on mine. I know everyone got exactly what they were told to get, and it just kind of got weird. Frank, where you at?
We left him hanging.
I know. We've been leaving you hanging way too long, Frank. Where you at?
No, I've been racking my brain here. I would probably have to say, and in her later years, my grandma lived at a retirement facility.
Okay.
And it would go, once every so often to one of those smaller stores like Dollar General or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And that was the only place that she had to shop for gifts. And I want to say I was probably 17 or 18, and she got me it was a small round, it was supposed to look like a fish tank, and it had a little switch on. You plugged it in, and it had a little switch on the bottom, and when you turn the switch on, it would light up, and the inside had like printed underwater patterns of like fish, and it would move. It was basically like a fake fish tank.
Okay.
And I, imagine being, 18 years old and somebody gives you something like that. And I just, it's one of those things like you probably would have thought was cool when you were 5.
Right.
And like, I don't remember what I said or what I did or how I tried to pass that one off. But I think about it now, and I was just like, any acting job I did that kept her from bursting into tears, I think I should get some kind of award, because that's probably not like in terms of worse, just the most like unneeded, unneeded. No, like I would have had zero use for this thing in any possible
in any capacity.
I love it. With that, Frank, we have kept you on longer than you had even said you could possibly be on, and we appreciate the camaraderie, the fun. Sherwin, I believe Frank has earned, beyond a reasonable doubt, the PTM PhD. Let's anoint him with that, and here's your anointment.
Yeah, I don't know how we wouldn't offer him an apprenticeship as a professor.
That's right.
On the PTM podcast going forward.
For sure. Now you're a slave to the professorship.
Yeah, for free, by the way.
You
will not be paid.
This is an unpaid deal. Thank you for being on. Congratulations. Frank, love you. Tell everybody what's going on, what you're up to, and what's coming up next, Frank Villette, and where they can find you.
Well, you can find me filling your timeline with a lot of non-racing banter for the next few weeks at Frank Villette. And for, like I said, for taking a couple weeks away from the NASCAR thing and just working, enjoying some family time, and starting starting doing some new things for Front Stretch next year. I've got a new column that I'll be handling that I'm looking forward to, called The Underdog House, where the focus is on the underfunded and lesser known teams in the field. So I'm kind of looking forward to that and shining a light on the darker side of the garage, so to speak. So other than that, just trying to enjoy the off season and just taking it easy right now.
My man. Well, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, all the rest of it. We're going to start closing this thing out. Sherwin, I'm going to play that song we started with.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, let's have some fun. So, y'all know where to find us on Twitter at PTM Podcast. Y'all know where to find me at Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace. And, by the way, I think this is going to be our last episode, so Happy New Year, everybody. Woo!
Yeah. Merry Christmas,
Do
Happy
the
New
thing.
Year, Happy Holidays to everybody.
Hope y'all
You can
have
find
had.
me at Pregame Engineer and at Andrew L. Sherwin on the Instagram. And as Rusty said, you know where to find us on other places with the PTM podcast handle.
I hope y'all have had as much fun in 2018 as we have. This has been an absolute blast. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, PTM Posse. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how to say it other than thank you. Y'all are the best.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all the thank yous.
And we will talk to y'all in 2019. Look out.
And we're going to be coming hard.
Hard. See y'all. And done. Frank,
Woo!
you're the best. We are still live on YouTube, but we very much appreciate you being on the show, man. This has been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Glad to be the caboose again this year.
Hey, man,
I love
you are the caboose, my man.
I love it.
It's third year in a row, dude. This is your spot.
Yeah, we have not been doing this for 3 years.
We've had Frank on our closing episode of a year 3 years in a row.
We have not been doing this 3 years in a row, Sherman.
Shut your mouth.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just the same thing you're telling me. No, it's
Yep.
awesome,
Yep.
man.
No, this is great. Frank, boatload of fun, dude. Appreciate you being on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And every time, like, it was an hour before the show, and I went, I have no idea what we're going to talk about. And then suddenly, an hour and 20 whatever minutes later, we end the show.
90 minutes in.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's what happens. I hope we didn't throw you off too much or anything else.
No, you're good. I'll be all right. Working early tomorrow, but I'll get a few hours in.
My man. All right, we'll let you roll, and I've got some housekeeping to do here, so we'll also
be on
let
iTunes in like less than 15 minutes
Oh
typically.
yeah, it'll be there, and y'all appreciate you being on there. Hey, everybody, PT and Posse, if you're watching or listening on the YouTube, everybody who's on there. I mean, Roger, Patrick, Dunn, Mick Rose, Beast, JoJo, everybody. If I miss you, I'm sorry. I love y'all. Thank you for being on. 2018 is a wrap. We'll talk soon.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
January 3rd, probably, is when we'll reconvene.
Yeah, something or other. We'll still be here. We love y'all. Peace out to the PTM Posse.